From the Van Aken District Market Hall in downtown Shaker Heights, we are the Fabulous Boomer Boys. Not bad for a cold winter night in Shaker Heights. All right. Well, I'm Bob Snyder. With me is my friend from the 4th grade, Bruce Bogart. And Bruce, let's get right into the events of the times here. It's a nice cold night in Cleveland. Those of you that are not here tonight, I know you're going to miss a good show, but you're going to enjoy staying warm with us tonight watching this on YouTube. Over 10,000 have already watched our program. Yeah, that's a good thing to applaud about.
All right. So what's going on?
What's going on? Well, I think we ought to, first of all, thank Harriet Tramer. Who's Harriet Tramer?
Harriet Tramer is the hostess. You still can say hostess, or is everybody a host now? How does that go? I don't know how that goes.
Yeah, whatever.
She is the hostess of a show called Aging Without Wrinkles. It's on the internet radio, and she asked us to be on her show. We were on her show a couple of weeks ago, and Bob let me talk. It worked out well.
Yeah, but tell everybody who our lead-in was.
Oh,
we never heard of the show either, but we were pleased to be able to go on it.
We got to say it in a nice way.
Okay.
It's an hour show. We thought we were the first half hour, so but we're all ready. We're told the producer's going to call us. We're on the phone. Bob, of course, said come to his place. I said, okay, Bob, fine. So we're at his place. But the first half hour, she had someone who had a, you know how some people take in rescue cats or rescue dogs? She rescues what, Bob?
Rats.
Rats.
Truth.
They did a whole half hour on rescuing rats.
Oh, our bodyguard knows them.
Our bodyguard wants to know her name. I don't know her name.
I saw somebody just on Facebook. Yeah.
She's on Facebook. She's all over. This woman rescues rats. She's out of Philadelphia, and it's really quite a good thing that she does.
We've come a long way. We have rescue rats as our lead-in.
That was our lead-in. So, but it was a fun show.
But anyway, thank you, Harriet, and invite us back.
But for those of you that are watching us for the first time, and we think we may have some new people because of our guests who we'll get to in a minute, we've had a lot of guests more important than rat people, right?
Yeah, but you don't say that, Bob.
Oh,
don't
okay.
Say that.
It's been fun. From people like, Alex Bevan, you've heard of him, of course. Jan Jones, Robin Swoboda, Lee Fisher. So it's a good time to remind you that now we're going to be taking a break for the month of January after the holiday season here. And it's a good time to binge watch the Fabulous Boomer Boys. So when you go on your YouTube there and you can see all the different shows, I think we've got about 40 shows. And it's a good time to look up some of the good ones.
As a matter of fact, after you hear our guest tonight, you may want to look up the Allison Schaefer show. Allison Schaefer is a renowned food critic in Greater Cleveland. But anyway, what's going on tonight?
She's a real rock. Okay, so tonight, everybody on the east side in particular is always looking for a new, upscale, good, different kind of restaurant to open up. Well, they were smart here at the Van Aken District, and they got a hold of, or he got a hold of them, Jonathan Sawyer. And Jonathan, who a lot of you may not, I want to make sure I read this right, he was the James Beard Award winner for Best Chef of the Great Lakes area. So he already has some restaurants, the Greenhouse Tavern, we all know that, down on East 4th Street, and included now in his group of restaurants is Sawyer's, which is just opened up. So
Which is here.
Right, at Van Aken District.
Downtown Shaker.
Right, so we thought, let's talk about Sawyer's and let everybody else know what's going on in one of the hot spots in Cleveland. And we're lucky to have with us tonight Travis Williams, his general manager. Let's give him a good greeting.
Thank you.
Bob broke his rule because for a year and a half he's been saying, I don't like millennials, I don't want to talk to millennials. And of course tonight, what do we have?
A millennial. How's his mic working? Can everybody hear him okay? We want to make sure we're okay.
We're having a problem in center field.
All right, let's make sure we get him. We've got Travis and Liz on the case here, and they'll make sure. So while they're fixing his mic, let me just tell you a little bit about Travis. He's done it all. He started as a dishwasher, went to a server, a line cook, bartender, and now, of course, the GM at Sawyer's. And
And he's a Clevelander.
that's the other thing that's important. So that's why we were able to allow a millennial, even though not a baby boomer. Let's get him on there. Okay, are we all right now?
All right. Take it off the top. Travis.
Well, we'll bring you on another time. Okay. All right, try it now. All right.
You guys hear me okay?
Everybody, oh, okay, there we go. All right. So, Travis, we're gonna talk a lot about the menu and the things that go on at Sawyer's, but we've got to start a little bit with your history. Okay. From what you were telling me, even though you grew up and were born and bred here, you've done some traveling.
Actually, I tried to travel as much as I possibly could. Lived in Washington, D.C. for a little while. I lived in Hawaii for a very, very short stint. And I try to travel as much as I possibly can. I actually have a really good group of friends. We travel to at least 2 away Browns games every single year.
Oh, all right, yeah.
And he moved from Hawaii to Cleveland.
I did.
Yeah, you've got to explain that one to us. How did you come back from being in Hawaii?
So my best friend lived there at the time. He was a Marine. He was stationed out there, and he offered me a free place to live. I went out there. I was working at the hottest nightclub in downtown Honolulu. It was called Sky Waikiki. But I had some personal family things that unfortunately pried me from the island. And now I get to see this wonderful snow out here. But I wouldn't be here tonight if I stayed there. So
There you go. All right, so we're
Good.
All right, now we also should say you're kind of being a millennial. I've been to the Flats. Bruce, you ever go to the Flats?
Years ago, Bob.
You really did? Okay.
Yeah.
But not like, all right.
In
But
my-
you
in
also
my
ran a
drinking
couple of
days.
nightclubs down there, didn't you?
I'm actually I'm still with Forward Hospitality Group. They partnered up with Jonathan Sawyer to create Sawyer's.
Oh, okay.
But for the past three or 4 years, I honestly lost track. I've been at Forward and Magnolia down in the Flats, if anybody's familiar.
You been to Magnolia's, Bruce?
Never.
No.
I couldn't even tell you where it is.
Okay, tell us where Magnolia's is.
Magnolia is right next door to the Big Bang.
Okay, where's the Big Bang?
It's the West Bank of the Flats. It's in the West Bank of the Flats.
Not the TV show.
I apologize, Bob. I'm a family man. But you can't relate to that.
So where you know where Alley Cat is?
No. Let's start at the stadium. I could tell you where every KFC is in town.
Yeah, I can too. So that's
All right.
Okay.
we can at least agree on that.
All right, now we're lucky tonight. I don't know if you get a shot of this young lady from Minnesota here. She's new to Cleveland. She probably will want to come down to
Magnolia. Yeah,
Magnolia's,
absolutely.
yeah. So Magnolia's is known, Bruce. I know this.
I'm sure you do,
'cause,
Bob.
I like to dance. Magnolia's has some of the top DJs in the country. Am I right?
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, my point of all this is not only is he working at a really upscale dynamite restaurant, he's a cool guy. Because you cannot work at those places otherwise, right? Come on.
I hope so. But
Okay. All right. So good. So now that we've defined why it's okay to have you as a guest with the Fabulous Boomer Boys, let's talk about Sawyer's.
all right.
Okay.
Fire away.
Bruce, you know I'm kind of a picky eater.
I know.
By the way, I've eaten there. Have you eaten there, Bruce?
Yeah, and you probably sent back your
Bruce,
food.
have you eaten there?
Yeah, you probably sent
Have you
back
eaten
your
there,
food.
Bruce?
No, I haven't eaten
All
there.
right. Again,
I'm
he does
sorry,
his
Bob.
research.
I'm
You
a
know,
family
research.
man.
Okay.
Yeah, he's a picky eater. What his deal is, and I can tell you this from a quarter of a century of watching him, he will send back his food 3/4 of the way through and try and get comped.
No, I do not.
Smooth, man. I
Or
like
a
it.
Travis, you saw me. I don't do that.
Or a free dessert. There
bad
is
about it,
not a
not
chance. That's his game.
No, but you know what I do? I tell you what I do like, and what I liked about your restaurant when I was there. When I go to a restaurant, I order just the way I want it. Okay, because that's the reason I'm going out to pay. You agree with me out there in the audience? I mean, you're going to a restaurant, you want them to. That's why you want it done right. So I remember ordering there, and they brought it out exactly the way I wanted.
What'd you get?
Hamburger.
What? And you know what? If they bring extra garnish,
Well,
he
I had a
sends it back.
cheeseburger. I had a cheeseburger without the garnish.
There you go.
By the way, the meat was wonderful.
Thank you.
It was great. All right, but wait, what's the dish there? I'm looking at the menu, but I better put on my glasses. I've got to tell you what people I was there with. Or there was a fish dish.
The salt baked fish.
What do they call it?
Salt baked fish.
Salt baked fish. And here's a question I have. Okay, I know it tasted delicious. Everything was great, but before you cooked it, what do you explain it?
So,
What do you do?
Whenever you get one, you come get that. Basically, we cook them. We totally cover the fish in salt. So, it's like a salt and water mixture. It stays very, very dense. Take the fish, you coat it in that, and you bake it off. We actually have like a display one that we'll bring to your table so you can see what it looks like when it comes out of the oven before we take all the salt off of it, before we take all the meat off of the actual tail. So it looks completely different. Like when it's actually very, very intimidating. A lot of guests don't want to see that part of the fish before it comes out, but they're really taken aback by it. But some people find it really cool. You know, a lot of people take pictures of it, and then we'll take it in the back. We'll take it off the tail, replate it. It looks again night and day from the two different.
Well, that's what happened. I saw it come out, and I'm not a fisherman, but it looked one way. But then when you bring it out cooked, it looks a lot more appetizing.
Very
I
much
guess.
so.
Well, that's just marketing, right? You know,
People love to see. They love the show.
you go to a Japanese restaurant and they bring the samurai, and
Right.
you know they do the whole hocus pocus and
Absolutely,
yeah.
So we were talking before we went on the air with my friend Michael Silverman about oysters, and you bring in oysters from not just one place, from different cities, right?
Yeah. It always really rotates. We have an East Coast oyster and a West Coast oyster. We always have both of them in stock, but you could be there one day. They could be from Washington. The West Coast one could be from Washington. The very next day it could be from California. It just rotates. We cover that in queue time. That way your server tells you night of what you're having, what you're looking to have.
And do you have nightly specials? Weekly?
Absolutely,
You have the specials too.
Whether it be an entree, an appetizer, a dessert, a cocktail, we always have a lot of different specials going on.
Now I know you're very close with your mother, right?
Very much so, yeah.
Close with who?
My mom.
His mother.
Oh, okay.
My question is this: has your mother ever been to the restaurant?
My mom is the pickiest eater on the planet. My mom will not come to this place.
Right.
She did come. She did
Don't
come
say
here
it.
opening.
Jonathan might watch this show. Don't say that. Don't say it.
No, she did come, and she came just to see everything there. She got like just the most simplest steak and French fries.
I looked at this menu. There's nothing on this menu. My mother would need an interpreter. In fact, I think I do.
I had to like very, very simplify one of the dishes just for my mom.
I grew up. Let me tell you, I grew up in Lower South Euclid. Okay, and I know.
Lower South Euclid. Okay.
Well, Bob had a big house. He had it up and a down. I was just in one
No,
bungalow.
you know what? He's mad at me because my house had air conditioning.
It's a big deal.
You know, back when we
was a
were
big
at it.
thing.
Go ahead, laugh.
Bob,
Millennials out there are laughing.
Bob,
but not everybody had air conditioning in those days.
I don't want to talk.
Not the window
Bob,
ones.
I just don't want to talk while you're interrupting.
Oh, okay, go ahead.
Please. So I'm telling you right now, I never saw a menu without onion rings in my entire life.
Yeah, well, we skipped over those.
How did that happen? Your mother would not be happy. Your mother would rather
Mom would need
be.
onion rings.
Yeah,
Bruce, they do have French fries and they're good.
I saw that.
I had them with my cheeseburger.
Is that the pommes frites? Is that French fries?
Yeah.
I know the important.
You do
things.
that. Now the other friend that was there with me had the, where is it here? The salmon, wood-fired salmon.
That's like
yeah. Let's talk about that wood-firing part. Yeah, because
So, for those of you guys that have been there or looking to go there, the two most important things we cook on there are our Jasper oven and our Jaffas. Everything there is wood fired. There's no gas connected to either of those things. One's an oven, one's a grill, and it has these 1-inch thick metal steel plates over on one side of the grill. Almost cooks things like a flat top, but you'll still get that wood fired smoke from the grill that's underneath it. That's how we cook most of our food. We're very, very, very heavily influenced on wood fired everything. Like they come at how they start their day. The chefs will get the fire going in the grill. And they'll take the actual oak logs and we'll shove it in the Jasper oven. So that oven gets to about 900 degrees ish. But it's all oak fired. I mean, you'll see them fanning the flames through the night. Keeping the fire going, getting everything really, really hot. And it's the smoke from the oak gets in almost every dish.
And you can get that taste. And the other, am I not correct in saying this? That the wood-fired oven gets hotter
Oh yeah,
than
most ovens. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
than our ovens.
Yeah.
That's important, Bruce. You
have
didn't
to
know.
know
I watch the Food Channel. I understand this stuff. If people think that because of Bruce, let's face it, he likes to eat. We know that he knows more than I do, but it's not necessarily true.
First of all, Bob, you don't have to insult me on the air.
Bruce, no,
Okay,
it's not
all
an
my
insult.
life I've been struggling with this issue, and here you are in public. But why didn't you invite me when you went with other friends? It occurs to me you didn't invite me to dinner. You knew we were going to have this gentleman on the show. and you don't invite me. I could have
Well,
been
it was-
engaged in a conversation. I don't know from wood fire what. I'm going to go home and ask for wood-fired food. She's going to tell me I'm crazy.
I'll try to remember that next time.
No, it's okay.
I apologize.
No,
You bring up a
now I'll
good
know
point.
you're doing it because I asked.
Okay, well, that's partly true. Bruce,
I want to say
you know-
something. I found something very fascinating on this menu.
Oh,
And
boy.
In fact,
Get ready
Kathleen-
for this.
Kathleen pointed it out to me. I've never seen this on any other menu in any way, shape, or form. Kitchen coffee, $10.
Yes, sir.
When I saw the price, I said Bob would never drink coffee at that price. But then I looked at it, it says buy the cooks a 6-pack of beer. Will you explain that to everybody?
Yes, that's one of Sawyer's things. If you go here, if you go to Greenhouse, Seesaw, he loves his kitchen guys. You know, he takes very, very good care of those guys. And you know, sometimes at the end of the shift, all these cooks really want is a beer, and they're, you know, they deserve it after all their hard work, sweating all day in front of that oven. And chef just likes to make sure they get that. And we do a really big spectacle whenever a guest buys a 6-pack or buys the kitchen coffee. They get to hand deliver the 6-pack to the kitchen window, and they get to ring a bell really, really loud. You'll hear the kitchen go crazy. They'll start slamming pans.
Oh, is that? I didn't realize that was what was going on.
Yeah, they'll
Okay.
start slamming on the walls, and like everybody in the entire restaurant can hear it, can see it. And you'd be surprised how just one person seeing it, it can spread like wildfire. I think the one night we had like 12 6-packs of beer bought.
That's
in
a
the
cool
kitchen,
thing.
You know?
And you get coffee though, right?
No, it's
You don't even
Oh,
get
you don't
coffee.
get the coffee?
You don't even get the coffee, no.
So all you're doing is getting $10 that the boss doesn't want to give me, wants you to give it.
Well, it's a 6-pack of beer, basically.
Oh my God.
But that's another point though we should bring up. Jonathan is there
Oh, yeah.
most of the time.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the thing. You go to some of these other well-known chefs' restaurants, and like when I go to Las Vegas, I go to Emerald's.
Right.
I hate to name drop, Bruce, but
You
anyway,
don't-
when
you
I go,
don't hate, you do not hate to name drop.
Well, when I go to
60
Emerald's-
shows in, you do not hate to name
well,
drop.
all right. Well, when I go to Emerald's, I always ask, is Emerald there? Because when he came to Cleveland, I went to see him, and he signed the book for me.
That's awesome.
You know, so I thought I'd tell him that in Las Vegas, but he's never been there yet. But the chances are very good here
Absolutely, yeah, yeah.
that Jonathan will be at the restaurant.
And he's always walking the floor, and he's really personable. You guys want to come up there, or anybody who has been there, he's very easy to talk to. He'll come up to every table, introduce himself. He'll talk to you about whatever you want to talk about, and he's always there, always around doing something.
Yeah, well, that and I think that's important because
Very much so, yeah.
you know that what the people are cooking the food the way he wants it cooked if he's going to be there.
But again, you come there for the food, but also, I mean, you want to meet the guy that does it, you know, and he knows he's the face, and he's always on the floor. It's an amazing, unique experience that you don't get when you go to all these, like I said, big name chefs places. They're almost disconnected from their own place. He's very, very much in tune with everything that's going on.
And this guy is a big name chef now.
Oh, yeah,
with the
yeah.
awards he's won, he's worked
Very
with
much
Michael
so.
Simon.
Very much
This
so.
is a. In fact, I saw him on the Today Show. Did you see him, Bruce?
No, Bob.
Oh, he was on the Today Show. Am I right? He was.
was, yeah,
They
yeah.
had. Let me tell you the story. They had one chef, even from Minnesota, from every state. They had a chef on the Today Show before Thanksgiving. Who do you think the chef was from Ohio?
Jonathan Sawyer.
You're right.
I didn't
That's
have
who
to.
they had.
I didn't have to watch
Yeah,
the show. I
yeah,
knew.
yeah, there you go. And we've got his general manager here tonight. I mean, that's why they call us the Fabulous Boomer Boys.
What's your favorite thing on the menu if you're eating there?
Hands down, the Brussels sprouts.
Brussels sprouts.
Oh, no. I've heard that from other people there, really.
And like,
I don't eat them.
I'm not a huge fan of Brussels sprouts, but these are really, really good.
Congratulations. I'm not a huge fan of Brussels sprouts either.
When you come there, I'll make sure you try it.
No, East Siders don't eat Brussels sprouts. That's a West Side thing.
Yeah, how are
You'd
you?
be surprised. You'd be surprised. It's actually our highest selling item.
Honest to God, what about an entree?
Entrees, I love the duck. The duck breast is probably my favorite. The salt and boca, another one. The salmon is I don't eat seafood, but the salmon is like hands down like our most popular item, most popular entree. Everybody who gets it, like even when we were doing menu testing and menu testing and having people come in and fill out like forms about what they liked, what they didn't like. The unanimous runaway favorite was the salmon. Everybody loved the salmon.
I had somebody tell me once, and I don't know if it was Gail Grafchick, but somebody told me that usually on a menu, the first item on the menu is something you ought to think about getting when you go to a restaurant. Would you say that here? Because this looks very intriguing to me. The fork and knife fried chicken.
I mean, that's one of our more popular items. We didn't put it at the top for that reason. It just happened to be how it got set up. But that's hands down like one of our more popular, one of our highest sellers.
Really? Okay. Yeah. Well, now here Bruce brought this up just briefly. What are you noticing the difference here? Because let's face it, Bruce and I know there's a difference between East Siders and West Siders,
Oh yeah, absolutely.
right?
Absolutely.
I mean, that's what I think one of the things about having this restaurant open up on the East Side is because East Siders want this kind of place.
Oh yeah.
So what are you noticing so far on?
I mean, it's been a while since I really worked with food. Managed a place that had food, and I came from. The last time I managed a restaurant, I managed the food aspect of the restaurant was Barley over on West 6th, and that was just different clientele, different kind of crowd. So we're still adjusting, still getting used to what the people out here want. They're very vocal about what they do and do not like. We're still trying to iron things out, make cuts on what isn't going to sell here, what is going to sell here. Like our beer menu still hasn't changed. Our wine list is ever changing, just to try and get what you guys are demanding, trying to make sure we have that in, and the stuff that isn't going to sell, make sure we get that out of there as soon as possible.
So this isn't going to be this is going to be the menu and that's it. You're going to be.
Oh no, we're very cognizant of of the wants and needs of everybody, and what is and is not selling. Luckily, everything on here does sell. There's nothing that we don't have to get rid of because it isn't going anywhere and it's just wasting away in our cooler. Everything moves pretty solidly, but no, this is definitely going to be changing, especially once the season ends, depending on what the chef can get in, as far as seasonal vegetables, seasonal fruits, whatever's easiest to get in, whatever's out of season, we're going to have to fluctuate with. But yeah, this is definitely going to be changing a couple times a year.
If I'm not mistaken, a lot of the food items that you do have are locally.
Everything is local.
Everything?
Chef, yeah, everything is local. Chef is big supporter of everything Ohio. Again, that reflects especially on our beer list. Everything on our menu, everything comes from everything that we can't get local, we do.
So we're supporting local business as
Absolutely,
well
1,000%,
by a place like that. Yeah,
See,
I think that's great. Yeah.
Grilled octopus.
Not so local, but
Not so local. Yeah, everything's local. Grilled octopus.
Wait a minute, they have octopus?
we do.
Yeah.
One of your favorites,
I
I bet. Huh?
got to tell a quick story.
Well,
So
here's the thing, though, Bruce. I have to say, I bet you would try it. Would you try octopus? See, I won't. I'm not going to.
I frown upon it, Bob. I frown upon it.
Frown upon it? Okay.
Because it brings back a memory. I had 19 years between marriages.
Okay.
And I was taught by Bob Snyder that the first date, you always go to an upscale restaurant. Okay, he had a formula for everything. And I listened to Bob because growing up, he knew more about girls than me. He still does, okay? I know more about food than he does. Anyway, so...
What a surprise.
So I go to Gamekeepers. That was my opening night, okay? And I go with this lady, and she orders octopus. And I'm thinking to myself, who orders octopus on a first date? Well, I guess her thing was she orders it on a last date.
That's a great story.
What would you recommend for somebody coming in there on a first date? Someone like, not Bruce, but maybe our bodyguard, Alan here, but somebody on a first date, because, I mean, you don't want to order something, we had Robin Svoboda on, and she talked about going on a first date, and her date ordered something where you had to eat it with your hands. I forgot what it was, obviously some kind of seafood or something. And she just couldn't believe it. This guy is like clawing away at things, putting it in his mouth, and it kind of took away the romance from the first date.
I
Yeah.
was actually going to recommend the pita with all the fixins, which you have to eat with your hands.
The what?
The pita with all the fixins. Again, mostly because we have a 100% beef fat candle that we sell there. This candle literally is 100%. It's made from beef fat. It's frozen. It's like melted down to order, and we light it at your table. So as the candle melts, it becomes just something to dip your pita in. We make our pita fresh in-house every single day, but it does at least feel a little bit more romantic at the table because you now have this candle in between the two of you. So I mean, that was where I was going with it, but
I think, frankly, this place sounds like a great second date restaurant. It really does. When you want to move it up a notch, want to see if you can get in field goal range,
Right, yeah. I think,
you definitely want to.
you're learning. It took a while, but you got the idea.
Took a lifetime.
Yeah, you got it. You got that right, definitely. And the other thing is that because nowadays, and we have a millennial here. Are you a millennial? Yeah, you're right. You're right at that cusp.
I did the math. He's absolutely a millennial.
He is a millennial. Okay. So many people are vegans,
Oh yeah.
right? So you've got to have something for them on the menu too, right?
Chef is very, very heavily in vegan and vegetarian food as well. Like we have replacements for almost everything on the menu that can be vegan or vegetarian. We're doing a New Year's Eve tasting menu this year that we have either a 6-course or 11-course option, but both of them can be supplemented with vegan options. So if you still want to have the same experience, there are definitely options here for you.
Give us the New Year's Eve scoop, because I've been trying to get our production manager here to take his girlfriend out somewhere nice for New Year's Eve. Okay. So tell us what you've got going on New Year's Eve.
As of right now for New Year's Eve, we're allowing anybody to make a reservation for any time. We were going to do it in waves, so many people at 6, another seating at 10, things like that. But now we're just leaving the whole format open for whatever time you guys want to come in. You'll have 2 different options. You'll have a 6-course option or an 11-course option. The 6 courses is $90, the 11 courses is $150. You have to buy your tickets ahead of time. You'll have to pay for booze day of. We will have wine pairings with every single dish. Anybody that wants to stay until midnight, we'll be doing champagne sabering. We'll all go outside with the champagne, bottle of champagne, and the saber, pop that off at midnight.
Are you going to have noisemakers and all that? Or?
It won't be that. We probably won't go that far, but.
Well, if you buy that beer thing, then everybody will make a noise for the.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
That'd be one way to.
They'll definitely get a bunch of those on New Year's.
Bruce, that's that might be.
I already have plans for New Year's, Bob. Thanks for asking. It's the
I
middle of
guess
December.
they don't include me.
No.
Oh, all right. All right, it's okay, Bruce.
Have we ever spent New Year's Eve together as couples?
No, but I'll tell you where we did spend New Year's Eve together. And if you don't mind, we're going to digress for a moment here.
In Pennsylvania?
Bruce and I went on a skiing trip when we were in 11th or 12th grade. And I drove.
That's right.
With another friend. We had a threesome. But anyway, we went to Mount Summit, Pennsylvania.
That's
Do you
right.
remember that?
Yeah.
And
Wait. Do you remember where we were going to go first? This is sort of a thing that may not happen anymore. We wanted to go to Boyne Mountain, Michigan. Right. And our parents got together and lied to us and said some cockamamie reason it was booked or whatever, because they didn't want us driving that far. Remember that? We had no idea they lied to us. 5 or 6 years later, they sort of told us.
It was your parents, because my parents let me do anything. Yours were much stricter. Yeah. So we didn't go to Boyne. We went to Mount Summit, Pennsylvania, which is I think still around. I don't know. It's near Seven Springs, but it's not as nice. Mount Summit, right?
Yeah, I remember. Absolutely.
Anyway, end of the story that's interesting is you have to drive through Beaver County, Pennsylvania, home of Joe Willie Namath. On the way home, we got stopped for speeding. Well, I was speeding.
Right.
And it was really, I don't think they do this anymore. If they do, you've got a scoop here. Bruce and our other friend, Arthur, were in my Mustang. And the state highway patrolman for Pennsylvania said, okay, come on out with me, you were speeding. I said, okay. And next thing I know, he puts me in the squad car and leaves, and it's like 0 degrees out. And he takes the keys and he leaves Bruce and Arthur in the car.
Yeah.
Leaves them in the car, puts me in his car. Next thing I know, have you ever noticed when you're on the Pennsylvania Turnpike next time, you will see this, there are roads you can go off of, and there's these fences that Highway Patrol has a key to, opens up the lock, and you go right into a neighborhood. So I'm sitting in the car, I don't know what's going on, okay, I'm like, 17 years old. Next thing I know, we pull up to some guy's driveway, we go in the back door, and it's the Justice of the Peace, because I see the sign on his door, of Beaver County. And I sit down, and the guy says to me, you were speeding. I go, okay. And he's typing things up, he goes, all right, $15 or 15 days in jail. What do you want to do? I had $16 left in my wallet. Swear to God. I said, I'll take the $15. Gave him $15. He put me back in the car, took me back out to the car. These guys are freezing. Get the heat on, get the heat on.
Oh.
But it was like, so I don't think they do that anymore in Beaver County. If they do, you might want to talk to your congressman in Pennsylvania. But
that story was riveting, Bob.
Well, it was a good time. Our show does nostalgia.
Talk to Travis.
Okay.
Really?
All right.
That was a good story, though.
By the way,
Travis, help me. It was a pretty good.
I'm enjoying it.
A millennial would never stand for that. See, the baby boomers, we obeyed the law. They said $16, whatever it is, we said okay.
Fair enough.
Right? Millennials would have taken the jail sentence.
So you got to work New Year's Eve. Let's get to the real stuff. You got to work New Year's Eve. Are you on the floor?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay.
I'm there every day.
Do you have a life? Do you have a life outside of the restaurant?
Not much.
Well, it's that kind of business, especially when you first start up, and you know that going in. But you aren't open every day. We had to tell everybody the hours.
No, we We just opened. Today is actually our first Tuesday we're open. If anybody wants to follow me over there when I
So you're closed Mondays, right?
Yeah, we're closed on Mondays. We are Tuesday through Sunday. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Sunday, we're 5 to 9 p.m. Friday, Saturday, we're 5 to 10 p.m. We're not open for lunch. We'll be starting brunch service the first weekend of January. I think it's the 4th and the 5th. Will be 10 to 2 on Saturdays and Sundays for brunch.
Saturday and Sunday.
Weekends.
brunch.
Yeah.
Weekends.
And what kind of brunch menu will you have?
We're still ironing that out.
Okay.
You know, it's gonna be a lot like this, very creative dishes. One of the things I'm actually looking forward to is one of the chefs wants to make his own version of a McGriddle, which I think is really cool.
Yeah, I can
haven't
get
seen
Right,
it.
now he'll
I
be
can
there.
get into that.
The grill.
Yeah, absolutely, me too. I can't wait for them to start making some of these dishes, and I'm looking forward to trying a lot of them. So.
Well, you should put it off a month because you're a big Browns fan.
Die hard.
And what if the Browns make it to the Super Bowl? Then,
Yeah, okay.
just curious.
I hope.
You got a better chance of me doing 15 days in jail than when I was making the Super Bowl.
Okay. Everybody, Travis Williams. Doesn't it make you want to go to the side, right?
Please come see. We'd love to have you.
All right. Thank you very much.
Thank you guys.
Appreciate it. I think you
So
guys,
much.
we wish you much success. I don't see how you won't. This guy's a great chef. He's proven it before with his other restaurants. And from what we see here, I think there's something for everybody. So I think it's good. All right.
You got to think about onion rings. I'm just saying.
I'll pass the word along.
For what it's worth.
All right,
yeah.
let's tell them. We'll have other ideas for you too. Okay. Now, here, the big thing is, don't forget when I come in there, if there's a line.
You get skipped right to the front. Absolutely.
Okay, I just want to be sure. All right. We want to remind everybody it's the time to binge watch the Fabulous Boomer Boys. We're going to take a break for the month of January before we come back on. So, good chance to catch up on all the other episodes that maybe you've missed, or you want to repeat the ones that you thought were so good. Right, Bruce?
That's right.
Okay, your turn.
My turn to say goodbye? Well, I want to wish everybody a happy, healthy New Year, holiday season. I want to welcome back Alan. Pretzel's our bodyguard. He was overseas in Europe with his mother. He's back, and it's good to have you back for the last show of the year.
And please continue, those of you here on watching our programs, put like. We've had over 10,000 views, and we're looking to grow on YouTube. So help us out, and until next time, thank you. Good night.